Mate, I'm chilled. I'm here, just chilling out. We're top of the league, and I can.
Because they're playing a Man City team that's short of form. They've got a lot of injuries. They're playing them at home. It's
Yeah,
all of the factors go in Man United's favour. The case. Hopefully, we don't look back on that game at the end of the season and be like, that was
favour. Come on, the Wolves. Come on.
the
I'll be
one.
howling all the way from work.
TG, man, that shit go crazy.
Took my time and got it right.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching around the world. This is One Way Football's 101 Fan Talk, and I am joined today with my main man. I can't believe I'm saying this. Ashley, top of the league still. Here we are. I've been on holiday. I've come back, and we're still top of the tree. When's this
Still
elephant
top
gonna
of the
fall
tree.
off? But look, before I get into it, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, obviously good that Arsenal's still top of the league, top of the Champions League as well. But otherwise, everything's going all right. How about yourself?
Mate, I'm chilled. I'm here, just chilling out. We're top of the league, and I couldn't have wished for. When I was away, I thought to myself, the worst thing that could happen. So I told you about like the stuff that's happened on the ship, engines breaking and stuff like that. And I was thinking, the only thing that could be like worse is Arsenal losing all their games while I was away. And I had to get up like super early at some games as well, like at 10 o'clock in the morning to like to watch the games. It was
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
Like it was a really weird feeling. But yeah, no, we're top of the league. You know, 7 points clear. What else could you ask for? Apart from Wolves
Was it
doing us a favour at the
when you
weekend, but that's
went?
probably wishful thinking.
When you went, were we still 2 points clear?
Yeah,
So we've extended it. We've extended the lead since since you've been gone
yeah,
as well. So I think it's even
I
better.
think we have, haven't we? So yes, is it? It's two. Was it 2 points? Yeah, it must have, or was
It
it
was
five points?
it gone from 2 to 7. So yeah, I'm not sure what the timeline of that is, but if you mate, I know obviously you didn't have the best experience, but if you fancy going on some more cruises to extend the gap a bit more,
Instead, the
then
lead. You
feel
know
free.
what? I even put on my Facebook. I said, you know what? I know that it's not been about. It's been a bit of a bad trip, but I don't mind staying on this boat as long as we keep winning games. I mean, the Villa game, I was a bit touchy about that one. We absolutely annihilated them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think first half we were quite poor. And Villa could have gone in one, maybe 2-0 up. They kept on catching us on the break. Onana was playing unreal as well. Then when he went off, they lost control of the midfield and we battered them second half. So yeah,
Yeah,
that was that was probably the highlight of the league highlight of that run of games so far. But like we say, we've extended the gap at the top anyway. So hopefully that can continue.
yeah, that's all that matters at the end of the day. We've got United coming up Sunday. This Sunday coming up. How do you feel going into this game though? Are you confident? Are you not phased or?
I would say, yeah, I would say I'm not phased to be honest. I think I wouldn't necessarily say confidence either, but I always go into games thinking if Arsenal play their best, they're going to beat anyone. Against Forest, we didn't play our best. Liverpool, we didn't play our best. But as long as we can play our best, we've got home advantage. It seems like when we are playing these home games, I would say second half of Liverpool aside, we've always looked to go up another gear. As the kind of the game wears on. And I think that with Man United have had the new manager bounce, their performance against City was one of the best games I've seen them play in, like minimum 2 years. So it will be a battle, it'll be a test. Man United will be up for it, but I think that, look, we're the best team in the country at the moment and the best team in Europe. So hopefully we play well and push them aside as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, because I work with a lot of United fans. You know me being in living in Manchester, and it's after they got that win, it was just like a thing of you're next, we're coming for
Yeah,
you
yeah.
next, and all this, like, and it's just like yeah, okay. But I said, look, we're not City, mate. At the moment, we can say that like with chest because their
Yeah,
defense compared to our back four is completely different. I said you won't be doing that. Well, you won't be doing that to Arsenal. Let me tell you that now.
yeah, no, exactly. And all of a sudden, like Man United have played well in one game, and all of a sudden they're back. They're back.
Yeah, but
Man
they
United
have
back.
this thing where they do this all the time, so they get a new manager, and some of them do realize this as well. So some of them do say like, yeah, all right, let's not get ahead of ourselves because there's always
Yeah,
that you get a new manager and it's all a big hype, and he'll be in that dressing room going, "Come on, we're at home, we've got City, let's do
yeah,
this." We've got to do this for the home fans, and I've spoke to some others as well, some other United fans, and they're not convinced by it. They're saying it's just a bounce of a new manager, an interim manager. Um, but yeah, I'm not as worried as I usually I am when going into
yeah,
these games.
yeah.
I don't know if you're the same because when it was the beginning of the season, we had United. I was a bit worried about it because it's a tough game to have, especially away at Old Trafford. Um, and going to that game, I was a bit like, oh, you know what? I could see a draw all over this. I don't know
I
if
think
like I don't know if you're the same like with this game. Like, so I said the way you played against City, if you play that against us, then I probably would be happy coming out with a draw. But we should be battering them really at home.
yeah, I think because they're playing a Man City team that's short of form. They've got a lot of injuries. They're playing them at home. It's
Yeah,
all of the factors go in Man United's favour, and then you take into account the fact that they've got a new manager. A new manager is playing their players in the positions that they should be playing in. So playing Bruno in a 10 rather than having him deeper, like Amarim was playing him in, for example. And I think that all of that happening and the fact that there wasn't really as much toxicity with Amarim going out and they've got Carrick now coming in,
mm,
guy he's won everything with them
yeah.
in his playing days. He's someone who's probably very well respected there, but it's going to be two different scenarios for them. They're playing against an Arsenal team who's you know categorically the best team in the country and currently top of the Champions League table as well. It will be a different challenge for them. Now, they can rise to the challenge. They've shown that before. Even with Amarim in charge, they went to Anfield and won. They went to the Etihad and won a couple of occasions. They beat us in the FA Cup quite memorably when we wasted about 30 chances. But it's one of those games. It's another rivalry game where we look at it and think, if we play to our best, we win this comfortably.
Yeah.
But if we're not at it, they could take advantage. And Man United, for me, are the worst team to be able to take advantage of because living in London, I know so many of them. Well, not in London, near London, down south. I know so many United fans. It was the rivalry that I watched growing up, like that late
Yeah.
90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
the
Yeah, yeah.
biggest game that that we always used to look for in that when the fixtures are released. You look, when are we playing Man United?
Yeah.
And it's just maintained that ever since. We weren't really their rivals for a little while when they were winning trophies and we were finishing fourth, etc. And now the tables have turned. They've still got that potential to be able to cause us problems. But I'm hoping that I'm hoping that we get a similar performance to what we got from the Tottenham game, the Tottenham home game, where we
Let-
don't
let-
let them settle. We get into
yeah.
them from really early. The atmosphere's there, and we just take advantage of some early pressure, go and get a goal, and then we can play our stuff.
Because the talk of the town at the moment is can United, even though they've gone back to that back four, can Man United like hold up with maybe two in midfield and going dropping back as a back five against our midfield? How good it is. With the likes of Zubamendi, Rice. He's probably going to play Odegaard because he's the captain right now. I mean, if it was my choice, I'd probably choose Eze over Odegaard, but I just got a feeling he's going to go with it, Odegaard anyway. Um, but that's probably that's your crucial part in the middle there. I think which is going to be massive in this game.
Mm,
Because if they drop it back to a five again and they go to a two, we're going to run rings around them. To
mm,
keep it a back
mm.
four, then I think it's gonna be quite even.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what I don't want to happen is it's gonna like end up being another Liverpool game where it's play not to lose.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know, and in that Liverpool game, while I was away. Watching that was dreadful because I was just like it was like both ends, but both teams are just sitting back constantly. It was like they're taking turns, like throughout the game to sit back.
Yeah, yeah,
But with United, yeah, we've got to go on the front foot straight away. I mean,
yeah.
we can't let them like have a chance at this because we're at home. Do you know the last time when we got beat at home?
Oh, Bournemouth last year.
It was Bournemouth last year, May the 3rd. That
Yeah,
is crazy, by the way, if you think about it. So we've almost
yeah,
near, well, if we get to it, we've almost had a year, like,
yeah,
just
yeah,
under a
yeah,
year of not being beat at home. That's crazy, though. That is crazy. It's a mental
yeah,
thought to think about. And, I know United fans are like wanting just to break our records. Do you know what I mean? That's what they
yeah,
love doing, to break our records. But let's just move back a couple of games before the Champions League. Let's have your thoughts on Nottingham Forest game because that was crucial that week. Going into that game, we've just seen City, lose points to Man United. We've seen Villa as well. Well, Villa came after, so it didn't seem bad, did it? You know, because they played the day after, I think it was,
yeah,
and they dropped points, so that was all
yeah,
right. But the thought is of us dropping points as well. It was crazy, weren't it? It was a crazy thought.
yeah.
Did you go into that game thinking we're going to snap this up? We're going to be like 8 points clear, 9 points,
I
sorry.
don't think I went into the game thinking that. After 20, 30 minutes, I thought that we were going to beat them 2 or 3 nil. But there was a lack of, it almost seemed like a lack of a clinical finish somewhere. We had chances and we dominated the game. We dominated the possession. Forest didn't have a shot on target. Another game this season where our opposition haven't had a shot on target. And I just feel like it was an opportunity missed, even though we extended our lead. So it was quite funny actually. I put up something on my TikTok about the Inter game and saying how Arsenal a bit of an enigma because they go to Forest and they kind of not bore their way to a 0-0, but there's no real. It didn't seem like there was any. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Any urgency to be able to
Mm,
go and try and get the 3 points, and
yeah,
then they
yeah.
can go to the San Siro and make a good Inter Milan team
Mm,
look poor.
average.
And then
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
was jumping on it and saying, "Oh, what's confusing about that? What's confusing? Why are you saying why are you saying it's abysmal? Why are you saying it's shocking?" I'm like, look, I'm just saying Arsenal didn't play well. They
yeah,
didn't. The performance wasn't good enough. So don't get me wrong. You take a point because Forest are, they're a good team, especially at home. And now they've got Sean Dyche as a manager, who's
yeah,
known for being able to set teams up defensively and kind of drill
yeah.
them
Just
really
holding
well,
up the ball. Yeah,
holding up the ball, making it really, really tough for teams to go there. I
yeah,
get that. I've played football to a high enough level. I understand football at a high enough level. I've been in low blocks. I've played against low blocks. I spent most of my 20s being able to try and work these things out as a player. But it also comes to a point where you look at the fact that Martinelli was a yard out and decided to stick a ball wide of the post. Marino, jumping in the way of Gabriel going for a header. Gabby
yeah,
Jesus doing the same thing in the last minute. We had chances to be able to take that. And don't get me wrong, a 0-0 is not disastrous. We still extended that lead, but it could have been even more. We could have been 9 points clear. And that's
mm,
something where you look at it and you think, hopefully, and I don't think this will be the case, hopefully we don't look back on that game at the end of the season and be like, that was the one.
yeah.
That was
Well, I
where
can
we could
tell
have
you
extended
now
it.
at this time, at this part of the season, we'd I think we had drawn four of our games and we had lost one this part of the season. And now we've drawn two and we've won the rest. So we're on the right path to a different,
Yeah.
a different level this season.
Yeah.
What we do need to
And
do
you can
is
see that as well. You can see that. You
yeah,
can
and
see that
the
we're on a
problem
different level.
the problem that we're having at the moment now is chances like this when we get to break away from our rivals that are challenging for the title as well. And it always comes to this critical points where you look back and you go, it's that game. It's that game again.
Yeah.
And I don't want
Yeah.
it to
Yeah.
go to the last day where we're depending on someone else to win us the league, you know,
Yeah.
because that's what happened last time when
Mm,
we played we faced City for the title. We went to the last game. We was relying on West Ham to go and win us the league, and then City won the game. They were already
yeah.
2 points ahead of us, and they
Yeah.
won the league by 5 points in the end. Where
Yeah.
realistically, we should have ran away with that because we were 8 points ahead, you know. And it's
Yeah.
little games like that, like drawing with Southampton and drawing with, like drawing with like losing to Bournemouth and drawing against Forest. It's not the big games we should be worried about because
Mm,
90% of the time, them games you kind of all right, draw, take that, move on, go beat
yeah.
the lower teams. But it's the other way around,
Yeah.
and that's what frustrates you the most. Um, I mean, like the Liverpool game, like I say, you can take that on the chin, okay? Right, then Liverpool aren't the greatest of what they've been, but they're still sitting in fourth in the league.
Yeah.
Um, and they're reigning champions. Then we go after Liverpool as well. We go beat Portsmouth Standard in the FA Cup, and then bit of a weird one with the Chelsea game, but you would take it every day of the week.
Yeah.
Um, and then the draw against me, and then going into Milan, it is baffling because then you see all these cup games, and we're going, oh, we'll win all these. Why can't we do this in the league?
Exactly.
You know,
And what a lot of
looking
people
at
try and
Declan
say, what
Rice's
a lot of
face
people
as
try
well. I
and
want to
say as
ask you
well.
about Declan Rice because there's a lot of controversy around him at the moment. He's having a bit of arguments in the tunnel. The walking off the pitch. Did you see him when he did you lip read him when
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
walking
Yeah.
off the pitch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Saying
Yeah.
every in time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it is. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts on this though? Like,
My thoughts are he's not wrong.
yeah,
He's not wrong.
yeah,
People are getting annoyed about it because they see him do it and they're like, oh, he's speaking, he's saying something wrong. He's annoyed. Why is he saying things like that? He's right. He's spot
mm.
on. We got
But
the
then what is the
opportunity to
problem
go.
then? Because we can't keep blaming the manager because obviously
Yeah.
he's been given the tools.
Mm,
The tools on the pitch aren't doing their job, but we're on paper we go, that's a good team. That. So what's
mm.
wrong? What can't we do right?
Do you know what? And the thing is as well, the thing that I get is Declan Rice hasn't really had a bad performance this season that I can remember. Like a bad performance where you think he's dropped a stinker there.
Mm,
He is well within his right, bearing in mind the level that he's taken our team to and the level that he's been at since he joined the club and what he's helped us to. All right, we haven't won anything, but what he's helped us to achieve, the points he's won us, and the level actually got to as a player and a player within our team. He
mm,
is well within his right to turn around and say every time, as in, we are not being ruthless enough, and that's just the fact of it. You can say the same as well if Gabriel turned around, for example, and it's like every time. It's those players who are demanding more out of the ones who are not quite delivering. Not quite delivering. Those ones who come in dribs and drabs and in patches they play well, in patches they don't. Gabriel made a mistake against Bournemouth. 10 minutes later, he's the one who got us the equaliser, and then he had an unbelievable game after he's made that mistake as well. He was a rock in that game afterwards. Declan Rice has been unbelievable since he signed for us. William Saliba as well. Even when Gabriel was out injured, William Saliba was the one who stepped up and really, really performed in our defence. Jurriën Timber
yeah,
come back from a year-long injury and he's been insane considering how long he was out for and coming back into the team. His workload should have been managed and it wasn't because
yeah,
we didn't have the players to be able to do that and we kept on picking injuries up everywhere. These are the players who, if they turn around and say, it's not good enough, we need to raise our level again, and you listen to them because they're the leaders in the team. They're the ones who are dropping those performances. They're the ones who are standing out. They're the ones that should be at the forefront saying, right, we need to do better and we're going to encourage this as well. I don't see anything wrong with what Declan Rice has said at all.
yeah. I know. Yeah, I think there's just the players get frustrated when
Yeah,
performances aren't at the level that the standards of level that you want to be at, I suppose. And and there's a lot of coming to this part of the season, the second half of the season, it starts to get etchy, bums start to get a bit squeaky. Um,
yeah,
And yeah, but Sunday is very crucial. We have to get this right. We have to
Mm.
get this right because City have got Wolves, and look, putting your hopes in Wolves beating City is like, I don't know, buying 10 scratch cards and hoping for 1 million to come out.
Mm.
It's very slim, very slim. I know that, you're looking at City, we can't get too overhyped about City like losing at the moment because this is only just put probably a firework up their bum. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they're gonna go out and absolutely annihilate Wolves. So we need to be on our game ready for this because if we're not, guess what? They're back
Yeah,
up there again. They're back
yeah.
up, and they're back following us again. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I really do hope we get a result out of this. I can't look back and go, Man United's the one. Look, this was actually the one that made us fail. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
looking at our fixtures as well, we get Man United out the way. You know, um, Tottenham, and then Tottenham, Chelsea, and Man City are only like big games to get through. But like I
Yeah,
say, it's not them games we want to be worried about. It's the draws that we keep picking up against smaller sides.
yeah.
We've got a lot. We've got a few home games as well, so that's good in some senses. Um, and then come if we can get past City, and there's still a gap. On 18th of April, we've got one, two, three, four, 5 games left of the season, and I would say they're all winnable games. Them
All
games.
those games are winnable. 100%. All those games are winnable. Absolutely.
Yeah. Newcastle not on form. Fulham they're on par. West Ham, you should be getting 3 points with that. Burnley 3 points to that, and then Crystal Palace, you should be wrapping it up by then anyway. Um, but
Yeah.
what's your thoughts going into Man United though? I mean, Are you looking at what others are doing, or are you just trying to concentrate on what we're doing right now because that's all that matters?
That's all that matters. It's one game at a time. We've already got the lead. It's not on us to be worrying about what other people are doing. If we go
Mm.
into every game and, like I say, perform well, it's up to the rest to catch us. We're the ones setting the tone. And the thing is, we've been here before, and that's what Arsenal fans get nervous about. We've been here before. We've had leads before, and we've let them slip. So it's about now us setting the standard, us saying, right, we're going to go and get 3 points today and then leave it up to the rest to try and close that gap again or maintain that gap that it was before. It's I'm not worried about anyone else. It's just got to be about how Arsenal perform and ultimately getting those results as well.
Yeah, we've like stayed at the top of the league, like I think from like nearly day one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think there's
yeah.
one
We've
time
been
where we
close.
dropped
Yeah,
down when City went up, and then we overtook them again.
yeah,
But it's been good. It has been good. We're just getting to that stage now where people are now looking to us and watching us. They're waiting for the crumble moment. This is where it
yeah.
comes into. These next couple of months is the
Exactly.
crumble moment that everyone waits for. And we
Hmm.
can't let this happen. But like you say, players that have been in the squad, they know what it feels like to lose out on the league.
Yeah,
We've got a couple of new players in there that don't know that feeling, but that's probably helped them a little bit more because they've got that extra push.
yeah.
Um, Eze, he's seen it happen to us, so he knows what we're going through.
Hmm.
Um, let's talk about Eze actually quickly because a lot of people also are saying that there's something not right. We've not given him time and on the pitch and that. Um, you know, I look at it as it's the depth in our squad, and that's what we wanted. So these players, Eze would have known this before coming into the squad. But do you,
Yeah.
do you think that he needs more game time?
I do, but I also, if you look at his game time at this stage of the season compared to any other season, he's actually played more minutes than at this stage of any other season that he's ever played. And that's also, I mean, a lot of that comes down to the fact that Odegaard was injured again for a little while. But also think that in the out of possession ranks that we have, he needs to get up to speed with that because it's not like Crystal Palace where he was playing in that kind of left-sided operator, that number 10 role where he was able to kind of drift around and have a little bit of a roaming role. It's completely different. So and him playing at left wing has sort of got used to that. It got shown in the Villa game away where he lost Matty Cash for us to go 1-0 down.
Yeah.
He's getting used to that. And it is a completely different system than he would have been used to at Palace. He's got a completely different role than what he had at Palace as well.
Yeah.
And he's getting used to that in his first season. And I think I would like to see him get more minutes just because I love him as a footballer. I think he's very exciting.
Yeah. But looking at
He's
the
one
Inter
of those
Milan game,
players.
he wasn't the best at it in the Inter Milan game. He wasn't like there wasn't much to be shown what he did on the pitch. But like you say, it's good for him to get minutes on there. And
Yeah,
they're the kind of
yeah,
games that you want to throw him in there because we're through anyway. It doesn't really matter what kind of happens now.
yeah.
I think we would have been through even with a draw or something like that, or
Yeah,
something like that.
we're through, but I think we've guaranteed ourselves a top two finish now, which is
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's what we like. People don't understand, right? Is that Arteta's built this team to compete with City that have got two starting 11s or been going splashing the cash like 200 mil, 250 mil plus on players every window that opens. That's what we need to compete with, and if you're going to win the league, that's what you got to do, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is as well, out of possession, we're a very different team to a lot of others. And that number 10 role actually plays a crucial part in that because that sets the tempo for any team that we press, or it's someone that actually dictates, no, we're going to sit back. And I don't think he's quite up to speed with it yet. On the ball, I think he's absolutely fine, but off it, that's where the flaws are starting to come in. But when he learns it, I've got no doubt that you will see him kind of rotate a little bit more. But also the Odegaard injury, I think, kind of thrust him into that a little bit earlier than what would have been expected.
Let's just talk about our front, right? Okay, so Inter Milan got the old he got the old goal. He got the goal, didn't he? Got the goal.
Yeah.
And he needed that for a push. I think he needed a good smashing like that. I mean, if it hadn't been for Saka messing it up on his back heel, he probably wouldn't have got it. But you know, yeah, if he hadn't gone off the back of Saka's heel, he wouldn't have got it in. But like I say, he's been called a bit of a tapping merchant. He's been called a bit of a slow donkey. Do you know what I mean? And I was actually like looking at it. He's got no pace on him at all. It's so frustrating that he can't win a ball. It can be. I think it was a moment. I think it was in that moment, the crossover to him, and he was onside, and he had about 5 yards pace like ahead of the defender, and he caught him up. And I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like, oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
And if it hadn't been for Saka coming back in and taking the ball, you know what I mean? We would have lost out.
yeah, yeah. I'm. It's the same happened in the Forest game as well.
Yeah,
If defenders made a mistake, he's got the ball, and you're thinking, just get away from him. Didn't get the ball under control. Defenders caught up with him, and he
this
squandered the
guy.
opportunity.
We thought we were getting some Superman from Portugal. Like, we've ended up with, some bin man that can't like move like, you know what I mean? Has to get a lift from a truck to each like bin. Like,
I think that although the finish was good. To be fair, it was a good finish in the Inter game.
yeah,
I want more. I want more from
yeah.
him. I
So if
don't
we were
think
to
his
pick
hold up
someone,
play
would
is
you
not very
pick
good.
Jesus to start in the United game though?
Yeah, I would. I think I would.
Yeah.
Just because it provides a little. He's a Jesus, a little bit more of a poacher. He's got a bit more about him technically that people can work off. I don't. Gyökeres is very good at occupying defenders, but when the ball actually gets to him, you struggle to believe that he's actually going to control it properly. But Jesus actually gives you that technical security, whereas he's probably not as good at holding defenders off. So it's a bit of a balance. But I think against United's defence, where you're going to come up against physical players and you're going to need to be a little bit smarter, I think
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
is the guy to go with.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And a very quick one, just before we get into your predictions. I was having this debate in work as well. I've got one other Arsenal fan that like works with me. The rest are all United or City. Cunha or Trossard?
Oh, Trossard. And
Oh, isn't it?
the only reason I say that is because he's more clinical. I think Cunha's a more exciting footballer. Um, yeah, but Trossard's he's probably been our outside of our defence. He's probably been our best player this season. He just grabs important goals. He's good in the big moments in the in a big game. So I'll probably just edge Trossard. Like it's not a big margin at all. And when the season ended last year, if we could have signed Cunha, I probably would have wanted to. But
Yeah.
Trossard's been very good this season.
Yeah, no, I get that. I understand that as well. Yeah, I think I said Trossard all day long. I was like, in current form at the moment, I mean, Trossard's not that bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're talking
yeah,
about
exactly,
where
and
we
that's
are as
why
well in the league.
I would go off. I
We're
think.
top of the league, you know.
Yeah, and he's a big reason for that as well. He's got a lot of goals for us and a lot of important
Exactly.
goals as well. So I think I'd edge it to Trossard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's get into some predictions now. Obviously Sunday game. Um, Arsenal at home. Second round for Manchester United. Can we do the double on them in one season? What are your thoughts on this, and what are your predictions, mate?
Yeah, I think we can. And I'm going to say 2-0. I don't think it'll be a comfortable 2-0, but I think it will be 2-0. But United will hold their own. We're not going to. I think it was last season when we played them at home. And it's Man United. It was a very comfortable game. We struggled to break them down. I think we got goals from two corners. Shock. But I think they'll hold their own. They'll be dangerous, but I think we can beat them 2-0.
Who are you going for scoring the goals? Trossard.
I reckon Gabriel and Trossard. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Oh, yeah, going for Trossard, yeah.
Gabriel and
Um,
Trossard.
so what we got? What, Gabriel Magalhaes or are you
Yeah,
going to
yeah, Gabby
Jesus?
Magalhaes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I reckon because the thing is with Man United is they still struggle with set pieces. So I think Harry Maguire will. I think he will start for them, and they will try and use him to combat the threat from corners. But yeah, I think Gabby Magalhaes will steal it over him and he'll score.
Perfect. Um, let's just quickly go through let's do the Carabao Cup game. Actually, I know we've got Leeds. We can do that. I know we can do a preview after the Leeds game. But I want to talk about just quickly your prediction on the home game against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup in the second leg. What are we going for that? Are we going to get to a final?
Yeah, we'll get to a final. I think 1-0. I think we'll win that. I think we'll control the game. And which, to be honest, the leg at Stamford Bridge, we controlled 80% of the game, and I think this is very, very typical of Arsenal. It's the formula that we follow. We are our own worst enemy. If we don't win something, it's going to be down to us. And that nearly happened in the Chelsea game because we let them back into it twice, and we shouldn't have. We were controlling the game, and it was just like Zubamendi slipped and they put a cross in and scored from it. It was just one of those things where I thought that we could have made the second leg way more comfortable than we actually have. Yeah. But I still think that we go and secure the win and go through to the final.
Well, I hope you're right, Ashley. Getting to a final is what we want to get to and win our first trophy of the season. But look, Ashley, that is all we've got time for. It's absolutely amazing having you on the show and having your thoughts and your predictions on this one-on-one fan talk show. Yeah, and hopefully we get the win. And Wolves do us a favour. Come on, the Wolves! Come on! I'll be howling all the way from work if City do us a favour. Trust me. But yeah, look, listen, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe this video. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and smash the like, and also share all this content. And I'll put a link to his TikTok as well. Ashley's TikTok, this side. And I'll put a link to Ashley's TikTok. Very interesting on his TikTok as he talks all about Arsenal, and yeah, I do like it as well. Ashley, thank you very much for coming on, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon, mate. Take care.
Okay, mate.
Up the Arsenal.
Yeah.